I'm Dr. Christine Whelan, a recent bride and relationship columnist. Brides, I get it. Let's get your questions answered.
I'm Father Eric Andrews, a Paulist priest who prefers funerals to weddings. Welcome to another webisode of The Princess, the Priest, and the War for the Perfect Wedding.
Hi, my name is Amy. I'm getting married in a few months, and my fiance and I love the Beatles. In fact, their song Here, There, and Everywhere is our song. We'd really like to incorporate our passion for the Beatles into our wedding ceremony, maybe play Here, There, and Everywhere after communion or something. But the priest says we have to choose from a pre-selected list of wedding songs and church music. How come we can't play the music that we want during our own wedding ceremony?
Hi, Amy. Thank you so much for that question. I think it's a really terrific one, and one that I think a lot of brides and grooms out there are asking themselves and their priest. You have these music songs that are just so close to your heart, and you want to share them with your friends and family. You want them to be incorporated into the sacrament of marriage, and they probably have some spiritual connotations for you. So, Father Eric, what's the problem? I mean, the Beatles say all you need is love. Why can't we have a little love for the Beatles in the Catholic Mass?
Well, I was hoping she would pick the Octopus's Garden in the Sea, but it's certainly a lot better than the bride who wanted to have march down to Someday My Prince Will Come. And I suggested to her people might laugh and say, well, what's wrong with the prince who's already at the altar, as opposed to Someday? But this is another episode of Whose Liturgy Is It Anyway? It is the Mass. The liturgy belongs to our Lord, not to the bride, the groom, the priest. Belongs to our Lord. And so everything, I know what you're going to say. And so all the music has to relate somehow to that sacred nature of what we're celebrating. The wedding is a sacrament, and it's taking place in most cases in the context of a Catholic Mass. And you have to kind of follow the same rules and the same direction as a Catholic Mass. And so all the music has to refer to the sacred text. That would be Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, not John, Paul, George, and Ringo. And it also needs to have it has to express the accurate divine love of God and the divine love of man and woman. So, I mean, there's a lot of criteria there you need to take a look at.
Fine, but what about music like U2 or other modern bands that really do take sacred texts and involve them in their music a little?
Well, that might be fine. I mean, and again, it's subject to the priest you're working with and the music director. And sometimes the music director will not play anything secular, nor the priest. Sometimes you can make a case for something that's modern and also contemporary or worship and praise type of music. That's appropriate. You know, some priests won't even allow the wedding march because it comes from an opera. It doesn't come from a church service. And it wasn't even used in that opera for a wedding march. So, you know, Here Comes the Bride is even out. Isn't that something?
You know, I was amazed when I got married. We were given one CD that had like maybe 12 songs on it, and we could choose 4 of the 12, but that was it. There was no other choice, and the traditional wedding march was nowhere to be seen.
Well, the consolation is that whatever you can't use in the church, you can certainly use at your reception. You can always sometimes put something in the prelude before it actually starts. And, you know, in your procession on the way out, if you don't tell the priest you're making a last-minute change and the organist for an extra $100 is going to go along with you, it's always better to ask forgiveness than permission, if you know what I mean. And I'm a little bit more of a pushover because I'm known from time or two to use a secular song in my homily. So,
oh, really, Father Eric? Huh?
I know, but not everybody is as flexible as yours truly at times, you know?
So you don't practice what you're preaching here, is what you're telling me.
Well, I just want to say, anyone who knows me knows that I'm severely compromised on answering this question. But I do want to let brides and grooms know that they're going to run into priests and music directors who are going to hold the line. And well, they should.
All right, Amy, so I feel like the answer here is kind of no dice, but these would be fantastic songs to have in your reception. I don't know, maybe someone could be with the boombox outside the church playing these songs as you exit and burst into party mode. But best wishes for a lifetime of happiness to you and your fiancé.
And remember what my good friend Frank Sinatra used to say, when somebody loves you, it's no good unless they love you. All the way. Nice work, Christine. All the best to you, Amy, on your wedding day. Bye-bye.